Okay. Okay. I'm better now. You know, I'm not sure if that counts as a form of PTSD or not. But dear God, I was feeling the pain in my toes that entire freaking time. Of course, it was only made worse at the water park because as soon as I got, not only did I have the freshly ripped out toenail to deal with, what's waiting for you at the end of a water slide? A big pool of chlorinated water. Didn't feel good. That's almost literally rubbing salt in the wound. Didn't feel good. Anyway. Post-trauma, here we go. I woke up. My memories were missing. I couldn't remember how I got back to my room. I held my head with both hands. My left hand was bandaged. The fingers that had their nails removed had swollen like hot dogs. Surprisingly, the toe didn't swell up that badly. It did a little bit, but, I'd paid with those 3 fingernails for what I did. The hag had said something after the punishment, but I don't remember any of it. I was taken to a hospital in Okonomiya. I have those. You want to hear those? The car shook on the way, adding extra pain on top of what I already felt. Somebody gave me some aspirin. They worked just like they said on TV, but they didn't last more than 10 minutes. I swallowed the pills without water. While I was spacing out in the waiting lounge, Kasai showed up. He probably came to check if I was alright. I obviously wasn't. He must have understood that from my bandaged left arm dangling from my shoulder. She got her hand caught in a door and it broke off 3 nails. That's happened to me too. I have issues with fingernails, toenails. Kasai, on the other hand, looked just fine. At least on the outside. I was relieved that my sacrifice had meant something. Kasai didn't say anything. I couldn't tell if he wanted to tell me something or not because he looked so emotionless.
Kasai?
なんでしょう?
He paused shortly before answering. I could tell he was upset. I didn't regret revealing my true identity in order to protect Satoshi-kun. But I hadn't wanted Kasai or Uncle Yoshiro to be hurt. I'd been contradicting myself.
吉郎おじさんはどうなったか知ってます？
いいえ。したたかな方です。ご無事と思います。後で謝られた方がいいでしょう。
うん。
I wanted to ask him about Satoshi-kun, too. I wondered if he was captured or harassed by the Sonozaki family because of me. I think that's more the lighting they keep sticking him in is changing, so they're actually altering it a bit to fit. I hope, anyway. But I was hesitant to ask Kasai. After all, I'd chosen Satoshi-kun over them. Was Satoshi-kun alright? I'd hoped he wouldn't get caught or incarcerated somewhere. I paid the hospital bill and Kasai gave me a ride home. I finally realized that somebody was knocking on my door.
シオンさん、横になり続けるのもやはり体に毒です。
It was Kasai. He put some side dishes on the table and we started nibbling at them.
気分は落ち着かれましたか?
落ち着いたというか、落ち込んだというか。
この数日間はずっと伏せっていたんですか？
Hey, now, you just told her it wasn't healthy to sleep so much.
食事はされていましたか？
冷蔵庫の中の残り物を適当に食べてました。あとは天井を見てるか眠っているかのどっちか。
It had been 3 days. I'd just been lying down since then. I woke up every now and then in my shallow sleep, but I didn't feel like getting up or thinking. I felt like I'd just been floating the whole time. My appetite was gone, but it came back with the smell of food Kasai brought. I wasn't able to think of anything to talk to Kasai about. Yeah. So I just ate silently.
昨日、ミオンさんから連絡がありました。シオンさんの部屋に何度か電話したけど出なかったからということで。
The moment I heard Mion's name, I felt my wounds throb. But I didn't stop Kasai, who continued.
園崎本家としては、シオンさんがご自分でけじめをつけられたので、これで決着とするそうです。あの学園には退学届が出されます。シオンさんは沖宮の学校に編入になるそうです。
Oh, that's happy at least.
園崎シオンの人権が認められたってことか。
そうですね。今後は園崎シオンとして生活してくださって構わないそうです。ですが、みだりにひなみ沢には近づかないこと、園崎ミオンを語らないこと、人前にみだりに姿を現さないこと、他にも細々とありますが、つまるところ、
存在を認めてやるから、本家に目立つようなことは二度とするなってわけか。
そういうことになります。もちろん永続的なわけじゃありません。ほとぼりが冷めるまで当分ということです。
Yeah, I'd say she lucked out pretty heavily. All she has to do is just keep her head down for a while.
具体的にいつまでという期限があるわけではありませんが、今年いっぱいくらいはこれまで通り目立たない生活を送られた方がよろしいかと思います。
And considering she doesn't really want to be in Hinamazan, she doesn't really want to be Mion, I'd say this works out pretty well for her.
私は沖宮でひっそり暮らすだけで十分です。もともとこれまでだってそうして暮らしてきたわけだし。
Kasai put on a sad smile. I smiled back at him likewise. Before the conversation ended, I should ask him what I wanted to know.
サトシ君はどうなったの？
I wish that Kasai would assure me of his safety right away, but he didn't answer like that.
カサイ、サトシ君は無事なの？
シオンさん、
Kasai put his chopsticks down.
本家から北条サトシ君のことは忘れろとことづかっています。
何それ？
シオンさん、あなたと喧嘩はしたくないんで、これ以上この話はしたくありません。本家からの言葉を伝えるのみにとどめさせてもらいます。
Apparently the, Oryu has softened quite a bit in her older age.
何その話をしたくないってのは。カサイ。
Kasai pretended as though he didn't hear me and started eating again. I'd never seen him get so stubborn like this. The Sonozaki family had been using the Hojo family as a scapegoat. They must have concluded that the Sonozaki shouldn't be in love with the Hojo. I didn't like that. Satoko was a friend of Mion's at school. Would it be okay if Satoshi-kun and I were the same gender? Anyway, if I did something conspicuous again, they might do something to him for real. Just like they forced me to remove my own fingernails. The Sonozaki family wouldn't hesitate. They'd torture him if need be. Maybe, if I really loved him, I should stay away. Satoshi-kun wouldn't show up in Okonomiya unless he rejoins the Hinamizawa fighters. I'll have to pretend to be Mion if I wanted to go to Hinamizawa. But I didn't think she'd cooperate with me. Even if she did, it'd be some time down the road. Even if they told me not to see him, I already had no means of doing that again. Oh, wait. Mion gave me his number a little while ago. I could call him, and maybe ask to meet with him secretly. But if I got caught again, they wouldn't cut me any slack. Should I risk it? What the hell did I even want from Satoshi-kun?
Kasai?
See, that's what's throwing me. Every time Shion says his name, she distinctly says Kasai. It's freaking distinct. And that's what throws me about his name.
ちょっと一人になりたい。
Kasai started putting away his food in a rush, assuming that I wanted him to leave.
あ、いいの。kasaiはのんびり食べてて。私がちょっと一人で散歩がしたいだけなの。
私もシオンさんと一緒に出ないとこの部屋に鍵がかけられません。
Kasai quickly put away his meal and followed me out.
あ、先に断っとくけど、別にサトシ君に会いに行くわけじゃないからね。
わかりました。
I turned around and started walking. My destination was rather pathetic. Yeah. It was the toy store that sold that giant teddy bear. I couldn't deny that I was somewhat expecting Satoshi-kun to pass by there. I couldn't stop myself from looking at the faces of passers-by who resembled him. I looked into the store's window. Hopefully she will say it again and I will try the quick save and quick load. The teddy bear was gone.
サトシ君、おめでとう。変えたんだね。
His evil aunt had died and his wicked uncle was living with his mistress. Satoshi-kun succeeded in fulfilling his duty as a big brother by buying his little sister that huge teddy bear. There was nobody left to hurt him. He was free from his tiresome efforts. He was completely free from pain. Over time, he'd retrieve his smile, and he'd go back to being the Satoshi-kun I love. But I wouldn't be there with him. Honk honk. I heard a car honking. I didn't think it was honking at me at first, but it was so persistent that I had to look up. The person waving at me from their car was Ire. He was waving at me all carefree, oblivious to my feelings. Well, presumably it's a happy ending for Satoshi. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in this timeline.
ひょっとしてサトシ君と待ち合わせでしたか？
いえ、そういうわけじゃないです。
そのおもちゃ屋さんのショーウィンドウはサトシ君もよく覗いていましたからね。それでてっきりサトシ君との待ち合わせか何かかなって思っちゃいまして。
いえ、たまたまここを通りかかっただけです。変えたみたいですね、サトシ君。
Ire seemed to know about the teddy bear as well. He smiled upon seeing its empty display space.
昨日がサトコちゃんの誕生日でした。きっとあのぬいぐるみでそれをお祝いできたと思います。
So at this point, it is the day after her birthday, and Irei, if he has disappeared, Irei doesn't know about it.
じゃあもうサトシ君は無茶なアルバイトに精を出さなくてもいいわけですね。
そうですね。
サトシ君ってそのひなみ沢ファイターズ退部届とか出しちゃったんですか？
そんなもの出てたんですか？私は受け取ってませんよ。マネージャーの園崎さんは？
受け取ってないです。
誰も退部届を受け取ってないならまだうちの部員ってことですね。しばらくして生活が落ち着いたらまた戻ってきてくれるんじゃないかなって思ってます。でもその時に園崎さんがいなかったらきっと悲しむだろうな。
Irei teased me. He's a grown-up after all. He must have been trying to sound optimistic because he knew I was feeling a bit down.
園崎さんも落ち着いたらいつでもチームに帰ってきてください。あなたがいないとやっぱり寂しいですよ。園崎さんが帰ってきてくれたらぜひ女子マネージャーの制服をメイドさんな格好にしようと思ってまして。
Hit him. Hit him. I burst into laughter. Irei sure hadn't changed.
あ、そうだ。もう名乗ってもいいんだった。監督、今まで騙しててすみません。私、ミオンじゃないんです。シオンっていう双子の妹なんです。訳ありで今までずっとミオンのふりしてきました。
双子の妹さんですか？
Irei, no. He was totally taken aback. I burst into laughter again.
そうです。園崎シオンと言います。園崎本家に嫌われてるんで、あまり堂々と暮らせる立場じゃないんですけどね。
知らなかったですよ。まさかミオンさんに双子の妹さんがいたなんて。
Irei, no.
そりゃ全く同感です。
Oh, god damn it, what do you want? Suddenly, a loud voice interrupted us. The voice sounded mean and greasy, unlike Irei's. It was him. Ooishi.
入江先生もこんにちは。先日は遅くまでありがとうございました。
いえ、何もお役に立てませんで申し訳ないです。
They were just going through the motions. It was obvious that they hated each other. Irei whispered to me.
私はもうここを離れますが、一緒に車に乗りますか？お家まで送りますよ。
Irei figured that Ooishi was after me, so he was giving me a chance to slip away. Looking at Ooishi's face, it was clear that his focus was on me, not Irei. He probably intended to interrogate me until my testimony broke. I was sure I could talk my way out of it, but it'd just be a waste of time.
そうですね。じゃあ監督、そろそろ行きましょうか。
ありゃ、お二人でどちらかにお出かけの途中でしたか？
Just don't talk to him anymore, guys.
ええ。チームの夕涼み会用に景品を探しているところだったんです。他にも行くお店がたくさんありますので、この辺で私たちは失礼します。
Irei bowed. I followed suit. I had to admire how good he was at lying. He's a grown-up, after all. Ooishi seemed to know that it was the lie. But he didn't have a warrant, so he couldn't stop us. I moved to get into Irei's car.
お怪我は大丈夫なんですか？園崎シオンさん。
I gasped when I heard that. My left hand was bandaged. It was unsightly, so I'd kept it in my pocket. There was no way Ooishi could have been able to see it.
可能さえしなきゃきれいに治りますよ。私も子供の頃は何度か爪を剥いじゃったことがありましたがね。ほら、きれいなもんでしょう。
Little rude, yeah.
男の爪が綺麗でも気色悪いだけです。
Ooishi scratched his head and chuckled. He's supposed to be one of the best cops at the Okonomiya PD, and he knows all about the underground activities in the region. He must have heard about my payment from somewhere. Still, that happened in the secret basement of the Sonozaki main house. I couldn't underestimate this guy's sources.
お見舞い、感謝感激です。じゃあ、もう行きますね。失礼します。
園崎しおんさん、私とコーヒーでも飲みに行きません？
はあ？何それ？私を口説いてんですか？
そういうことでもいいですよ。
God damn it, you're not supposed to reply affirmatively to that.
遠慮します。1日は有限24時間。わざわざ退屈なことに費やすなんて馬鹿げてますから。
Damn.
もう参ったな。じゃあこうしましょう。私とのおしゃべりが退屈になったらいつでも途中で帰っていいです。
That would be minute 1.
引き止めません？そういう約束でどうです？
あんたが喋るのは勝手ですが、私は喋りませんよ。それをおしゃべりと呼べるかは怪しいですが。
ねえ、それで結構です。シオンさんは聞き役で結構です。私が勝手に一方的に喋るだけ。
He's gonna say about Satoshi-kun, isn't he?
あなたはコーヒーでも飲みながら中年親父の独り言を聞き流してくださればそれで結構です。
He was being strangely persistent. It didn't look like he was trying to poke a hole in my statement. What would he even talk about? I got a bit curious, even though I was still skeptical.
監督、すみません。私、ちょっと大石のおじさまとデートに行こうと思います。
ミオじゃない、シオンさん？
I winked at him and told him not to worry. Ire didn't insist. He got in his car and drove off. Ooishi backed his car up so I could get in. I hopped in the back seat since I didn't want to sit next to him.
本当に喫茶店に行くの？
あなたの親類の目がない喫茶店があるなら紹介してもらえると助かるんですがね。
チェ、それなら勝手に連行でも何でもすればいい。
Ooishi carefully checked for oncoming traffic and then started driving. Ooishi took me to the police station, as I thought he might. If he'd take me to a nice cafe, he would have scored some points. But, whatever.
書の方が都合がいいと思ったから書にしただけです。私の話が退屈になったら帰っていいという約束はもちろん守りますから安心してください。
ま、私を退屈させないように頑張ってくださいな。
Just got a bunch of text messages. Who's sitting there pinging me? Oh, okay. Yeah.
署内には腕組んで入ってあげましょうか、おじさま。
Ooishi chuckled and got out of the car. He escorted me inside the station. I thought he'd take me to an interrogation room, but instead he took me to an office of the investigation division. Officers in both suits and uniforms were working at their desks answering phones. There was a desk with a plate that said section manager, and nearby there were couches and a table. Ooishi told me to sit on the couch and started making some instant coffee. I'd never been to this part of the police station. I looked around in curiosity.
まさか取り調べ室でカツ丼でも食わされると思いました？
Ooishi brought over a tray with coffee cups on it.
想像してたより待遇が良くて驚いてます。おしらすに直で正座くらいは覚悟してたのに。
そういうのは私の趣味じゃないな。
God damn it! Stop that! She's underaged.
で、おしゃべりを聞かせてくれるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
じゃあ最初からいきなり単刀直入に。シオンさんって北条聡さんのこと好き？
はあ？速攻退屈なんで即帰りますよ。
なじゃあ今のはなしということで。
Ooishi must have known why I had to remove my fingernails. He wasn't trying to confirm that I liked Satoshi-kun. What he was really saying is that he knew already.
サトシ君の事件当日のアリバイなら先日熊谷刑事さんに全部お話ししたつもりです。
もちろん私も熊谷君の調書は読んでます。あなたがサトシ君と一緒にいたことは知ってます。
何度聞かれたって同じ話しかしませんよ私。しつこく反復して聞いたらそのうちにボロを出すとか考えてるなら大甘もいいとこです。
まさかそんなこと考えてません。あなたは頭のいい人です。そんな手に引っかかるなんて思っちゃいません。
Flattery!
ならどういう手を考えてるやら。どちらにせよ私からサトシ君のことを何か聞き出そうとしてもそれは無駄なことです。先日お話しした以上のことは何もありません。ああ、残念。やっぱり退屈な話でしたね。私、帰らせてもらいます。そういう約束でしたからね。失礼します。
I got up off the couch.
シオンさん、確かに私はあなたからサトシさんのアリバイを聞こうと思っていました。それは認めますよ。
なら決まりです。やっぱり退屈でした。帰ります。
I turned around and started walking. Ooishi didn't get anxious, but instead spoke a little louder.
でもね、シオンさん、私が聞きたいのはサトシさんの事件当日のアリバイじゃない。昨日のアリバイなんです。
昨日？なんで昨日のアリバイなんかが聞かれるんですか？昨日のサトシ君のアリバイがおばさんが殺された事件とどう関係があるってんです？
昨日サトシ君が出かけたまま失踪されたからです。
What?
サトシ君が失踪されたことはご存知なかった？
I couldn't say anything, but my expression answered Ooishi's question anyway.
どういうことですか？失踪って何？
やっぱり座ったらどうです？
サトシ君が失踪したって何？
一つ確実に分かっていることは、彼が3時前に沖宮の郵便局で貯金を全額下ろしているということだけです。その後の足取りはつかめません。
I knew why he withdrew that money. He wanted to buy Satoko's birthday present. Yeah, he definitely bought that teddy bear yesterday.
これは私の想像ですよ。 彼はひょっとしてそのお金でどっか遠くに蒸発したんじゃないかなって。
逃走資金だってんですか？バッカバカしい。あのお金はね、サトコの誕生日プレゼントを買うためにサトシ君が貯めていたんです。それであのおもちゃ屋にあったでかくて高いぬいぐるみを買ったんです。逃走に使うお金になんかなるわけないです。
確かにあのおもちゃ屋から一番高いぬいぐるみが売れていました。でもね、それをサトシ君が買った確証が取れないんです。
店の人に聞けばそんなのわかりますって。私とサトシ君で買う予約までしてるんですから。
I had a bad feeling. That old man who was watching the store was sleeping when we were there. He looked very senile. Maybe he was also watching that store on that day, and even though Satoshi-kun bought the teddy bear, he didn't remember. Ooishi put on a wry smile. It looked like he'd already tried to question the old man.
とにかくあれを買ったのはサトシ君なんです。サトシ君はぬいぐるみの金額ギリギリしかお金がなかったはずだから、ぬいぐるみ代を支払ってさらに逃亡資金を用意できたなんて思えません。めちゃめちゃもいいとこです。
いいですよ。じゃあサトシ君がぬいぐるみを買ったことでもいいです。
Then again, this is all information that we've had from other sources, so...
じゃあそのぬいぐるみを持ってどうして帰らなかったんですか？
At that point, I felt as though my heart had turned to ice. Satoshi-kun had been working hard to buy that teddy bear, even though he was under extreme mental and physical stress. After all that, he finally managed to buy it. It's unthinkable that somebody else just showed up and bought the same teddy bear. The teddy bear was gone because Satoshi-kun bought it. Nobody else. But if so, Satoshi-kun should have given it to Satoko. But though he brought a present for her, he didn't come home. He didn't come home? That wasn't possible. He would have gone straight home with that teddy bear. He wouldn't think of running away after buying the teddy bear. Even though Satoshi-kun wanted to run away from the police, he'd never leave without giving Satoko a present. Anyway, it must have been Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. I can say that with 100% certainty. The question was, why didn't he bring it home? That teddy bear was huge. It wouldn't fit into the basket of a bicycle. He must have brought some straps to tie it to his bike. He wouldn't have thought of running away on a wobbly bicycle like that. He necessarily had to go home after buying the teddy bear from the store after withdrawing the money. Nothing could have happened when he was going between the ATM and the toy store. It was impossible. Nobody else could have possibly bought that teddy bear. Never. That teddy bear had been sitting in the showcase up until that day. Everybody could see it when they passed by, but nobody wanted it. It's impossible that it could have been somebody else. There should be no question that he went to the toy store after he withdrew the money. What about the route between the toy store and his home? There shouldn't be any question there either. He shouldn't have been able to do anything with that huge toy. He shouldn't have even thought of making a stop on the way. So he must have headed home right after he bought the teddy bear. But nobody saw him after that. It was simple then. Satoshi-kun went missing on his way home from the toy store. He went missing? What did that mean? I was sure he killed his aunt. He's not that shrewd. Maybe he couldn't bear the pressure from the police. Was he resigned to the idea that the police were going to arrest him soon, regardless of my help? Did he decide to run away? Did he think that he should disappear until things cooled down rather than get arrested? That was definitely, absolutely impossible. It was impossible that he came to that conclusion on his way home from the toy store. Even if he did, he would have waited until he gave Satoko her birthday present. Satoshi-kun loves Satoko. He shouldn't have spoiled her like that, but anyway, he always tried to be a good brother to her. So he'd never disappear before going home. You know, I had a weird thought. That what if that bear was actually bought by the, I don't know, what do you want to call him, the stall owner, carnival worker, what have you, that set up that one display that was at the Watanagishi Festival. Keiichi set up, or not set up, but won that bear for, the one that they had to line up like a whole bunch of rifles and shoot at in succession. Do you remember that? What if the carnival owner actually was the one who bought that, and the old man just forgot to care if it was reserved or not? And then that's what sets up Keiichi being able to win it at the festival later. Yeah, see, I'm thinking it's the same bear. Somehow it ends up as the same bear. It may seem a bit expensive for a carnival present, but you never know. Maybe he figured nobody could ever win it and they'd waste all their ammo shooting at it because of how it was balanced, until Keiichi came along and just rapid fired the thing into submission. Maybe that was the thought. That one bear would have been an investment that kind of, made many people spend their money trying to win it. You never know. We'll see. Maybe it's completely apparent that actually means absolutely nothing in the long scheme of things. But come on, man. I gotta come up with something that links this with anything else. I felt as though the ice was cutting through my heart, expanding the frost. Let it go, let it go. If Satoshi-kun didn't disappear by his own will, the answer was simple. Satoshi-kun disappeared by somebody else's will.
Satoshi-kunが消された。
Or a different thought, Satoshi-kun actually did manage to buy the bear with his savings, but on his way home he was abducted, and then the bear was discarded, thrown away, and the carny worker found it and decided to use it as his centerpiece until it got knocked over by Keiichi and company. There's another one.
やっぱり退屈な話ですよ、おじさま。
I thought I could shake off the frost in my heart if I laughed loudly enough. I kept laughing until it happened. I kept laughing and laughing. All the cops in the room stared at me. They thought I'd gone crazy. I didn't care what they thought. I kept laughing until it turned into a cough. Yeah, I think the thought of something happening to Satoshi kinda made Shion snap. Especially since she lost a fingernail to keep him safe. I finished laughing and took a sip of lukewarm coffee. I felt as though the frost in my heart had spread all throughout my guts. I was chilled to the bone. I was freezing. My fingers shook as I held the coffee cup.
シオンさん、ちょっと口を挟まずに聞いててほしいんです。これから私がちょいと想像した話を申し上げます。全部でっち上げです。だからきっとシオンさんはあまりのいい加減な内容に吹き出しちゃいそうになるかもしれません。それでも最後まで黙って聞いていてほしいんです。約束してもらえます？
いや、約束なんて何でもするから。早く言いなさいよ。
I was feeling far too cold. My teeth were chattering. I felt as though my brain had frozen as well. I lost my ability to think. But hey, that's just a theory. The Sonozaki theory. I couldn't do anything by myself. I could only do as Ooishi told me. What he was going to tell me might be the worst possible theory, but I had to listen to it. Now I'm waiting for Lady Mage to come in here and yell at me.
中でも、聡子さんを執拗にいじめていたこともね。その中で、サトシ君が妹をかばうために、叔母に殺意を募らせていったとしても、私は人として自然な流れだと思います。
I had to deny that Satoshi-kun murdered her, but what Ooishi was saying was true. I couldn't deny his hypothesis right away. I just kept silent.
ここからは空想ですよ。絶対に怒らないでください。口を挟むのもなし。いいですね。
わかってるから。早く続けなさいよ。
北条聡は叔母殺しを計画し実行した。
Nice tense piano there.
ねえ、もちろん証拠なんてありませんよ。全部私の妄想です。
わかってるって。あんたの妄想なのは百も承知。だから早く続けて。
ここで話は変わります。シオンさん、あなたはサトシ君との交際を禁じられたんですよね。もう忘れろ。二度と関わるなと念をされたんですよね。それは実は不仲な両家の関係を意味嫌ったからでなく、殺人犯と園崎家の令嬢が恋仲であることに問題があったんじゃないかと思ったんです。
That is actually possible. After all, when I was pretending to be Mion, I already had a connection with Satoshi-kun. Before anyone knew it was Shion who was spending time around him. I could have been accused when I was helping out the Hinamizawa fighters if the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonozakis was the problem. It wouldn't be difficult for the Sonozaki family to know that Satoshi-kun murdered his aunt if it happened in Hinamizawa. Maybe one of them even saw the murder. The Sonozaki family didn't like that I was in love with the murderer. They decided to step in.
あと、あなた、諦めが悪いことでも知られてるんじゃないですか。つまり、園崎本家にサトシ君との縁を切れと脅されて、爪を剥がされても、サトシ君との縁を切りかねていましたよね。
I couldn't deny that. I lost most of my means to access Hinamizawa, so my ties to Satoshi-kun were essentially cut, true. But I still knew Satoshi-kun's phone number, and I expected him to rejoin the Hinamizawa fighters eventually.
園崎本家はサトシ君とあなたの縁はちょっと脅しただけじゃ絶対に切れないと分かっていたと思います。あなたをいくら脅してもどうにもならない。じゃあもう一人の方をどうにかするしかないですよね。
どうにかって何？どうにかって何よ？何？何？
If threatening me was useless, then they'd do something about Satoshi-kun. What would they have done? If they pulled something, then wouldn't that interrupt his path from the toy store to home? Toy store to home! Toy store to X to home. What's X? What is X? X marks the spot where his path was interrupted. But what interrupted it? Why couldn't Satoshi-kun make it home from the toy store if something interrupted him? Why? What's X? X! I ran out of air, became dizzy, and then collapsed. The floor felt cold. I felt no pain. I had fallen to the floor like a plastic doll. Ooishi and some others rushed over to me and helped me up.
落ち着いてシオンさん。サトシ君が殺されたとはまだ限りません。
You're not certain he was killed? What the fuck are you talking about? Don't you know about the torture room where they forced me to rip off my fingernails? Don't you know that there are prison cells in a well for disposing of corpses in the back? If the Sonozaki family wants to eliminate somebody, they definitely kill them in a torture room and dump the body down there. You're not certain. Are you dumb? Is your brain made of tofu? If I were in the hag's position, I'd kill him for sure. I wouldn't let him get away. If I would kill him, then the hag would definitely kill him.
シオンさん落ち着いて。これはまだ未確認情報ですが、名古屋駅でイエデニン風の若者を見たという情報が入っています。東京行きの新幹線に乗ったそうです。服装の特徴などが一致しませんでしたが、警察の追跡等を意識して衣替えをしている可能性もあります。服装が違うからサトシ君でないとは言い切れませんよ。
生きてるの？サトシ君生きてる？
ここからもまた私の想像になりますがね。あなたの双子のお姉さんのミヨンさん、次期当主ということで園崎お涼の身近にいますよね。園崎お涼はおそらく最初はサトシ君をこっそり殺してしまおうと提案したと思います。それをあなたのお姉さんが止めたんじゃないかと思うんです。
Mion. That was possible. She could have tried to calm things down out of pity for me. That idiot was always so indecisive. She could have been clear if she wanted to save him or not. But she probably seemed vague about that. She must have persuaded the hag to reduce the punishment to banishment instead of death, just to avoid feeling guilty.
おそらく園崎本家はサトシ君と接触したでしょう。今回の事件はかばいきれない。だから自分の身は自分で守るためにどこかへ姿を隠せと忠告、いや強要したと言った方が似合うでしょうね。
サトシ君は絶対拒否すると思います。だってあのサトシ君が妹を一人残してひなみ沢を離れられるわけがない。
私もそう思います。確かサトシ君は園崎美音さんの紹介でバイトをしてましたよね。だからサトシ君に逃走資金になるまとまったお金があることを知っていたと思います。
でもサトシ君はそのお金をぬいぐるみを買う以外には絶対に使わないはずです。
でしょうね。サトシ君は貯金を下ろしたら迷うことなくおもちゃ屋に向かうでしょう。でももしですよ、サトシ君がおもちゃ屋にたどり着くと、もうぬいぐるみが売れてしまっていてなくなっていたら。
That would have been a very desolate situation. He'd been working hard. While his aunt abused him, he worked at many different jobs. The money was worth all that pain. He went to the toy store with that money in order to buy his beloved sister a present. That was the only purpose for that money. He must have looked for the teddy bears he'd always done, but it was gone. He wouldn't have gone into a panic right away, because he was always so optimistic. He might have thought the store was wrapping the gift for him because he told them he'd pick it up that day. He must have gone to the store joyously. I couldn't guess at exactly what happened next. My heart would tear up if I tried to imagine it anyway. Why didn't they have it, even though he had reserved? Did that old man understand the situation, or was he just zoning out? Maybe it would have been the same even if it wasn't that old man who was at the store at that time. If a bunch of fierce-looking subordinates from the Sonozaki family went in and showed them the money, nobody could have rejected it. Satoshi-kun must have sunk into silence. No matter how hard he complained, the teddy bear was gone. Ugh. He probably never even considered that his dream might be taken away. He must have been wobbling his way home in sorrow, leaning on the telephone poles every now and then. It was the day he wanted Satoko to be happy the most. He couldn't get the present she wanted the most. He probably didn't think of getting another gift, because it was unimaginable that he couldn't get that teddy bear. He might have imagined how Satoko would react when she found out he had no present for her. He must have looked unbelievably sad and empty. The money he'd been saving meant nothing anymore. Satoshi-kun never cried, even at his toughest moments. Did he even know how to cry? It was always Satoko who was crying. So Satoshi-kun never learned how to cry, and he grew up that way. Did you know? People shed sadness from their hearts with tears. Satoshi-kun wasn't even allowed to do that. Even though his heart was filled with sorrow, he couldn't let it out.
妹を一人残してひなみ沢を離れられないと言いましたね。でももしも園崎本家が残った聡子さんの面倒は見るって言ってあったとしたらどう思います？
After Satoshi-kun found out the teddy bear was gone, all he had left were some crumpled bills. The family told him it was just a matter of time before the police got to him. They told him to run away. They said they'd take care of Satoko. Satoshi-kun didn't feel like seeing his sister. He wandered and found himself at Okonomiya Station. He must have been apologizing to Satoko so many times in his mind. He swore to come back someday. He headed to Nagoya, and then to Tokyo. But that meant he's alive. He's alive. I should be able to see him again someday. He must be coming back, so I'll definitely see him again.
そうしてずっと遠方に隠れ家か受け入れ先を用意してくれたんじゃないかと思います。サトシ君はそこを目指したのでしょう。
じゃあ無事なんだ。いつか帰ってくるんですよね。
Ooishi looked up at the ceiling and stretched. He didn't answer me. On June 24th, 1982, Satoshi Hojo went missing. There's a possibility that he ran away, as he was the prime suspect of the murder that happened on the 20th of the same month. Allegedly, someone resembling him was seen at Nagoya Station embarking on a train heading to Tokyo, but the truth is unknown. No one has seen him since. As a matter of fact, no one even knows if he's still alive. Seems like they inserted a tip at the very end of that chapter, along with the new tips here. So, do you think we are close to the end here? Sure seems like we might be close to the end of this. Notebook, page 34. The information that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo hasn't been verified. It started as follows. A young man came to the lost and found window looking for his wallet. The station employee asked him to write down his name on the form. Then the young man started writing Hojo as his name, but he stopped in the middle, crumpled the form, and wrote a totally different name on another form. No, I don't want to know how close I am, but it sure seems like they're wrapping up the chapter. Seems like we're getting close to wrapping up this story. But, you know, they could throw a curveball here. It seems like we're hitting the end of it all. Another station employee witnessed a similar-looking young man rushing into the train heading to Tokyo. The employee from the Lost and Found and the employee who was on the platform talked about the suspicious young man in the locker room. That was all. The wallet of the man named Hojo was never reported as found to the Lost and Found office. Okay. At first, I thought Ooishi's theory that the Sonozaki family banished Satoshi-kun from Hinamizawa and looked after Satoko in return was bogus. But thinking about it now, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. After all, Satoko Hojo started living with Rika Furude after Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Rika Furude isn't just a regular girl. She was the head of the Furude family, one of the 3 families. The head of the Kimiyoshi family is Rika Furude's guardian. The Sonozaki family probably couldn't step in due to having been officially opposed to the Hojo family, but Satoko Hojo is in the custody of the 3 families now. Even though the Hojo family was severely ostracized during the dam conflict, Satoko Hojo was now under protection. It seemed as though only Satoko was exempted from blame. Why was she spared even though Satoshi-kun wasn't? Good question. And, well, we're not at the last chapter yet. I didn't get the detective achievement. So you've got at least 2 more chapters. At the bare minimum. So, you know. So there's more story coming up. We've got something else that's going to be revealed soon. I would imagine, anyway.